Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin, check. You already know. Let's go. Golden Blooded is a college football YouTube channel for entertainment. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into our next college football video. Don't forget to send gear to represent your team. The address is P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. Oh boy. It just seems like the Pac-12 hasn't made a good decision since bringing in Colorado and Utah. The Pac-12 is going down the tubes. That they're not going to be able to sustain themselves staying as is. They're going to have to add new members. Like I pointed out yesterday, their best option would be to try to get more Power 5 teams from the Big 12. I was talking about Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech. Bring those numbers up to at least 14. Try to get 2 more teams, maybe a Boise State or a San Diego State. Or if those teams aren't attainable in the Big 12, still go out and get your Boise States, your San Diego States, your Fresno States, and maybe a UNLV just because you play the Pac-12 championship in Las Vegas. But on top of that, the TV deal. They don't have a good TV deal. They don't have a good time slot. I know a lot of people are like, the Pac-12 After Dark, that's a draw right there. I watched the Pac-12 After Dark. Not very many people are staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching Cal play Oregon State. It's just not happening. Now, those more premier matchups like Oregon versus USC, yeah, people will stay up for that. But not for those other matchups. There's nothing intriguing enough to stay up that late. On top of that, shout out to the Get It Gang. What is the Get It Gang? Get It Gang is the name that I've given to the people that give video ideas in the comment section. So make sure to leave a video idea in the comment section, and I just might use your idea. By the way, Get It Gang merch will be available in the merchandise store once we get that up and running. Today's Get It Gang member, Cubby94, and here's his video idea. I don't think it was a video idea, just a comment that I liked. Hopefully Pac-12 doesn't sign with Amazon. Their broadcasts of NFL games was atrocious. They should sign with Netflix. 100% agree. Whenever I heard that the Pac-12 was negotiating with Amazon for a TV deal, I'm like, why? Why? I mean, how many people actually watch consistently on a consistent basis TV on Amazon? Not me. I don't do it. So you definitely wouldn't have a customer in me. Maybe there's more that watch that out west. Maybe that's the draw. I don't know. I don't think that's a good deal. I don't think Amazon's presentation of the NFL, just like Cubby94 said, was very good. Therefore, I don't think their presentation of Pac-12 football would be very good. The Pac-12 network has been an utter flop. And now we found out a couple weeks ago that Comcast overpaid the Pac-12 $50 million, and 2 senior executives got fired because they didn't tell anybody. I mean, the mess continues. The Pac-12 would definitely be hammering in their last death knell if they signed a TV deal with Amazon. The problem is Fox backed out of cable negotiations. It's ESPN, and ESPN is lowballing Pac-12. So the Pac-12 is going to have to accept a lower number than what they want. They think they're very, very valuable. They're wanting a $1 billion deal, and ESPN is laughing in their face. It's not going to happen. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of TV deal the Pac-12 can get with ESPN. And maybe Amazon is a supplement type of TV deal. I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. In fact, I agree with Cubby94. They should sign with Netflix. More and more people are watching regular TV on Netflix. You would have a customer in Golden Blue Dude if you sign with Netflix, and you have to get that time slot fixed. You can't rely on the Pac-12 After Dark. And I know the time zone situation. So you could start as early as, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, and it would still be around a noon kickoff game. So get your 4:30 time slots, 3:30 time slots, whatever, and your 7:30 time slots, and try to minimize those Pac-12 at night games. Unless you want to put your Oregons versus USC, your Washingtons versus Utah versus USC, the big time matchups that people will stay up for, you can keep those on the Pac-12 After Dark, and I think you would still draw in big numbers. So you have to fix your time slot. You have to figure out your TV deal and avoid Amazon. That is a terrible, terrible idea. I love this idea with Netflix. I would be watching more Pac-12 if they got a deal with Netflix, but they have to do something, and they have to figure out how to add more members. Because like I've stated countless times, if the Pac-12 stays as is with the current 10 members, it's not going to last. And on top of that, I've talked about this as well, the unequal revenue share that Oregon and Washington are wanting, that's not going to work as well. In fact, that could backfire on the Pac-12 because the 3/4 of the Four Corner schools are going to be like, no. You're not going to give them more money. We're going to go over to the Big 12 and we're going to get paid more money because that's not fair. Because the bottom line is right now, Oregon and Washington do not have an option. They do not want to go to the Big 12, so that's off the table for right now. And the Big 10 has turned them down. So right now, it is Pac-12 or bust for Washington and Oregon. So the Pac-12 should not be kissing their rear end because there's no chance of them leaving. They should actually focus on the 3/4 of the Four Corners because there's a bigger chance of them leaving, being mad at the unequal revenue share by Oregon and Washington. And listen, I get it. I am not saying that Oregon and Washington doesn't deserve the unequal revenue share. They are the bigger brands. They are the more valuable brands. That is not what I'm saying right now. What I'm saying is the Pac-12 needs to be smart and realize, hey, Oregon and Washington, they really don't have a choice right now. They have to stick with the Pac-12. So this needs to be an equal revenue share. That way, we keep the Four Corners. Because if they do it the other way, the Four Corners could leave and go to the Big 12. That shrinks the Pac-10. Now it's the Pac-10, not the Pac-12 anymore. Shrinks down to 6 teams. And then Oregon and Washington get nervous because, hey, you either have to add more members, which would be from the Mountain West, or disband. So you would lose Oregon and Washington anyways. Make the right choice, Pac-12. Make it an equal revenue share. Keep the Four Corners and Oregon and Washington and add to the Pac-12. Yes, try to get teams from the Big 12, but you're probably not going to get to do that because Big 12 teams do not want to go to the Pac-12. So you need to add your Boise States, your San Diego States, your Fresno States, and I guess UNLV because you already play in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 championship. But on top of that, remember this. The rule that states you must have divisions in order to have a championship game if you have 12 members or more doesn't exist. So you don't even have to bring in UNLV. You could bring in Boise State, San Diego State, and Fresno State, and that's it. You would be the Pac-13, an unequal number, but it doesn't matter because you don't have to have divisions. And you don't have divisions now. So it would be a seamless transition. I'm telling you, Pac-12, if you don't make some moves and go out and get some teams, even if they're a group of 5 teams, you have to do it. The standards are academics and they don't meet the academics. I understand that. But desperate times call for desperate measures. And if you don't start making desperate measures, you're going to go down the tubes. So bad decision after bad decision after bad decision has led us up to this point, Pac-12. However, you still have hope. You still have time, but it is not much time. The clock is a ticking on you. So start making good decisions right now. And I'm telling you, if you invited Boise State, Fresno State, and San Diego State right now, they would come. No hesitation, done deal. And I know it comes down to the teams that are already in the Pac-10 that look down on Boise State, San Diego State, and Fresno State and say, no way. Well, if you want to remain in the Pac-12, and you want the Pac-12 to remain relevant, then you need to shake your head yes and say bring them on in. So it's up to you, Oregon and Washington and Colorado and Utah and all the other bigger brands that are in the Pac-12, now the Pac-10 now. You decide to put your egos away and invite those teams from the Mountain West. That way the Pac-12 can continue to exist in the near future. Otherwise, you have accepted your fate and have decided that the Pac-12 is not going to last. That's what your decision will tell everybody else. If you do nothing, then you're accepting your fate and deciding that the Pac-12 will be no more. But if you go out and get some teams from the Mountain West, then you're fighting. You're actually trying to continue to exist. You tell us, Pac-12, do you still want to exist or are you okay about going into oblivion? The choice is yours. Y'all in the comment section. Number 1, do you agree with me? If the Pac-12 does nothing, you're going to head to oblivion. Number 2, do you think it is a bad idea for the Pac-12 to sign a TV deal with Amazon? Number 3, do you think adding Boise State, Fresno State, and San Diego State would in fact help the Pac-12? That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.